I'm Kim Klacik. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This is the reality for Black people every single day. Crumbling infrastructure, abandoned homes, poverty, and crime. Baltimore has been run by the Democrat Party for 53 years. What is the result of their decades of leadership? Baltimore is one of the top 5 most dangerous cities in America. The murder rate in Baltimore is 10 times the U.S. average. The Baltimore poverty rate is over 20%. Homicide, drug, and alcohol deaths are skyrocketing in our city. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? I do. The vast majority of crime in Baltimore is perpetrated against Black people, who make up 60% of the population. So why don't we care about our communities?
Joy Behar crushes Kim Klacik on The View over defending Trump. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you're new to also hit that follow button on Twitter. Yeah, I haven't been following me. Come on, y'all. Let's get it up. Tweet me on Twitter, retweet. Let's have fun. And I'm gonna play this clip for you guys, and I'm gonna come back with some more.
Excuse me, I have to say something to you. He told Bob Woodward that it was a very serious issue and it's airborne and that it was terrible. And then he went out and told the American people, don't wear masks, it's all going to go away. You have to put some blame on your president. I'm sorry. You're putting it on something extraneous here. Talk to the point, please.
Is this Joy speaking? The same Joy? The same Joy that paraded around in blackface not too long ago? Come on, Joy. I don't think you should be asking these questions. I am an African American.
Excuse me. The Black community had my back. They know that that was not blackface. That was an homage. Oh, please, just answer the question.
The Black community has your back? The Black community has your back?
They do. Sonny,
the Black community did not vote for you.
Well,
the Black community did not vote for you. What planet
it was during
are you
a special
election.
On? Sonny, can I speak?
What planet are you living on?
It was during a special election while we were still under lockdown and I could not talk to people. Can I speak, or are you just going to scream over me?
This becomes a big... Listen, Kim, good luck to you. Thanks to Kim Klacik.
That was very immature, but thank you for having me.
Okay, so I have a lot of things to address with this whole situation, so if you don't mind, I would really appreciate it. If you watched the whole video, I had a long, just kind of difficult day today, so I'm kind of little in a low mood. I'm not about to cry, but I'm in a low mood. Okay, so Kim Klacik has this ad, right, and she talks about how Baltimore has been under the previous administration that ran that city for a very long time, and Joe Biden has been in office for 50 years and has nothing done for the Black community. I understand that. All right, so what I don't like about this appearance on The View is I don't like how, and I'm not unbiased, I don't care if I like the person, everyone is going to get equal attackation on each other, okay? So I don't like how Joy Behar basically just went off on her with that question and shut her down with that question because she defended Trump. And this is not a political thing for me. I don't care what side you're on. I think it was wrong for her to do that. Secondly, I think it is hypocritical that during like the 1970s, because Joy is like 75 years old, right? She wore blackface. She did wear blackface, but at that time, we had no social media. At that time, people weren't very sensitive towards that notion. And I'm also going to say this, and I don't want to say this, but I want to say this. I think if Joy Behar was a possible conservative and she was like on Fox News, you know, on a conservative network, and this blackface thing appeared of her face, I think all hell would have broke loose. She would have probably lost her job from that network, and things would have probably been haywire, you know. And I'm going to give you guys an example because Megyn Kelly had a show on NBC, right? They took off Tamron Hall and took off Al Roker off air. They had better ratings, or like they came to find out over time. However, Megyn Kelly made commentary about people dressing up as Black people or as, you know, a race during Halloween, and she said, you know, I think people should be able to do that, you know, and because throughout history, people have done that. I mean, let's just keep it real. Nobody really had outbursts. So she received backlash because of that. She had to apologize because of that. And she lost her show. Now, from my research, NBC did not debunk her, did not fire her because of her commentary towards the black race, in my opinion. I think, actually, no, not my opinion, factual. I think they fired her because her ratings were lower than Al Roker and Tamron Hall, which Megyn Kelly took over their time spot. And Megyn Kelly had a 3-year, $69 million contract with NBC. So if you're not pulling all the ratings after being a decade on Fox and after basically being a rising star with handling, a politician panelist and having one-on-one with Donald Trump, that's really how she became a rising star because of that. So NBC sees you as, okay, hey, we need you, but you're not pulling in the ratings. Advertisers aren't getting the bang for their buck for what they're paying you. $69 million over a 3-year contract. We're going to fire you, and we're going to use the blackface as an excuse to fire you. I mean, same thing, it just happens over time because NBC is known for ratings. So I think it's hypocritical that they use that instead of saying, hey, we're trying to find somebody else like they did to Steve Harvey. We're going to replace you with Kelly Clarkson, and, we're not going to have a meeting. So NBC is just like known for using those type of excuses. All right. So another thing I wanted to address is that, I wanted to be fair here. She's married to a 54-year-old white man who's an accountant who owns a strip club as well. And according to Mr. Tariq or Tariq, he has 6 baby mamas who are black. And I don't care who the color is. The fact that you have 6 baby mamas and you have a kid from each baby mama really is a detriment to a child, because in my opinion, a child should have 100% access to one father. There shouldn't be multiple baby mamas. 1 or 2 is fine, if with equal reasoning, but 6? Who are you, DMX? Who are you? What are you? What are you trying to do? So I don't agree with that. And she wanted to pull all of these percentages on Twitter, which I spoke on my previous videos before she came on The View, and saying that, black men aren't available in children's lives. There's a high percentage. And that's when Tariq was like, well, your husband has 6 baby mamas, so he's a part of that, which is true. And also on her Facebook page, she talks about how U.S. history is very important in curriculums in Baltimore. Well, your president is trying to erase part of U.S. history. He's trying to appeal that, and he doesn't have that power to do that. And the curriculum in school is already flawed in terms of how they say you should go to college, and then if you want to go to college, your scholarships and your funding is based on a standardized test that really doesn't pertain to students who even do well in school, because some people aren't even good test takers like myself. So it's just a whole bunch of controversy. And the other thing, the big thing, is that Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, owns a 9,000 unit multi-millionaire real estate company in Baltimore, and there has been complaints by tenants who has mold infestation, who has rat and mice infestation, who has leaks coming down from the 2nd floor, and they're allegedly being threatened through lawsuits even during this COVID time, when there was a pushback on evictions because of people being unemployed and due to the employment rate being high. And the fact that Trump wants to call the city of Baltimore, and the fact that this woman says Baltimore is a problem, well, part of that problem is Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, because he owns a wide 9,000 units, you guys. That's a big company right there. And the landlords allegedly are slumlords. Based on my research, they're not doing well. And so to have this person who can't even take care of his business, he has a name on his business, he doesn't even work for it because he worked for an administration, trying to delve into international diplomacy when he is a quote-unquote a real estate investor, trying to go overseas and to accommodate some type of peace deal that's been the rhetoric for decades, a peace deal, which never really happens, has zero experience, but yet wants to go to Qatar, wants to go to UAE, wants to talk to Israel, wants to talk to Saudi Arabia and try to formulate some type of peace deal in the Middle East, but you have no experience in international diplomacy and you have no experience in politics, but you want to go overseas and do that? Really? So this administration really is boggling my mind, and it's crazy. And it's not a political thing, it's more of a fairness thing, it's a humanistic thing. So we're not talking politics here, we're talking about right versus wrong. And so Jared Kushner, like, it's just a shame. Like, it's just crazy. You know, it's crazy that a man is going overseas talking to people he has no experience talking to, has no experience whatsoever, and they're all doing this so they can have some type of agenda for re-election, really. And Joe Biden is not any better within his 50 years. You know, yeah, he doesn't really did anything for the black community. And, you know, this goes back to the previous videos when I was talking about Dr. Black, who hopefully I'm going to be interviewing soon. We have to pick the best of the least worst master. The best of the least worst prejudiced person. And I'm tired of, and I'm sure black people are tired of that. They're tired of being selective of that. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of hypocrisy going on both sides. You know, it's best to just do your research. And, you know, this woman, Kim Klacik, you know what? I say give her a chance. Let her go in. Let her do her thing. She does have a non-profit organization, you know, which is right. She's not a resident of Baltimore, but legally you don't need to be a resident of Baltimore in order to run in that district. And her non-profit organization did help hundreds of people get jobs financially. So she got a backbone in terms of helping Baltimore. And in my mind, despite that her man has 6 baby mamas, despite that her man is a strip club owner and he's an accountant, and, you know, maybe that he stuck his genitalia, you know, without wearing a condom, or maybe the condom broke, you know, I'm going to focus on her and her work and see what she's done. And I'm going to see. Let's give her a chance. I mean, what does Baltimore have to lose? Being decades of facing, you know, being in communities of low poverty, being in communities of Jared Kushner real estate, and not really being helped by Kim Klacik. And give her a chance. See how she does. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Deuces! Yay!